Let me tell you about the wildest Tuesday morning of my life, when I ended up in a showdown with a fake animal control guy, a bag of warm dog crap in one hand, a half-eaten breakfast taco in the other, and my dog, Peanut, barking like he was auditioning for an air raid siren. It was 7:42 a.m., and there I was on my front lawn, staring down a lanky dude in a tan uniform with a butterfly net, yelling about immediate canine seizure protocols. I swear, it felt like I'd stumbled into a fever dream or some low-budget crime show. But this wasn't TV. This was my life. It all started 10 minutes earlier. I'd barely taken a bite of my taco when Peanut, my half-terrier, half-con artist mutt, lost his mind over a squirrel taunting him from across the street. He blasted through the screen door I'd forgotten to latch again and shot into the neighbor's yard like a furry rocket. By the time I caught up, he was neck-deep in Mrs. Carter's recycling bin, chasing that squirrel like it owed him money. Mrs. Carter, in a nightgown that screamed, "I gave up on caring in 2003, was swinging a mop at him and threatening to call the neighborhood watch. I grabbed Peanut's collar, mumbled an apology, and turned to drag him home when a beat-up white van rolled up to the curb. The side read City Animal Safety Crew in peeling letters, with a missing O in control. That should have been my first red flag. Out stepped this guy, tall and wiry, fiddling with a trucker hat like it was his ticket to authority. No badge, just a clip-on name tag that said Mitch. He yanked a pole with a net from a van, the kind you'd use to catch goldfish or maybe your own bad decisions. "Sir, I need you to hand over your dog," he said, squinting at Peanut, who was busy trying to lick taco sauce off his own nose. Under Ordinance 12B, Section 4, we're authorized to detain non-compliant animals reported by neighbors. This one's on our list. He flashed a laminated card that looked like it came from a dollar store printer, complete with a cartoon puppy and a watermark that said official-looking ID. "Is this a joke?" I asked, half laughing. "Did Linda send you?" Linda, my next-door neighbor, has hated Peanut since he dug up her prize roses during a rainstorm. She's got 4 security cameras and once emailed the whole block a PowerPoint called Peanut, the furry felon. She's exactly the type to hire a fake dog cop for revenge. Mitch's eyes narrowed like I'd spat on his fake badge. "Step aside, sir, or face fines up to do law 600 per paw violation." That wasn't a real thing, I was sure of it. But before I could call his bluff, he lunged with that net like he'd done this before. Peanut, the slippery gremlin he is, dodged, weaved, and bolted between Mitch's legs like a pro wrestler. Mitch spun, tripped over a sprinkler, and ate dirt. I scooped up Peanut, sprinted inside, and locked the door like we were in a zombie flick. I called the real animal control office, and they were crystal clear: no City Animal Safety Crew, no Mitch, and definitely no investigations involve VY-ing a terrier mix with a grudge against squirrels. I thought that was the end of it, until 2 hours later, when I flipped on the local news and felt my stomach drop. A police K-9 named Titan had been stolen from the county courthouse during a lunch break. Witnesses saw a white van speeding off, driven by a guy in a tan uniform with a clip-on badge. Sheriff Maria Torres was on TV, her face like thunder, promising to hunt down the thief. "Titan's not just a dog," she said, voice tight. "He's an officer. He's family." I stared at Peanut, snoring on the couch, dreaming of squirrels. Then it hit me like a brick. Mitch didn't get my dog. He got Titan. Somewhere out there, a fake dog catcher was DRIVYing around with the sheriff's elite K-9, probably realizing he'd just signed his own arrest warrant. Titan wasn't just any doe, was a legend. Word was he'd once sniffed out a fugitive in a sewer pipe and tackled a carjacker through a MOVY-ing SUV's window. This was a dog who'd chew through a steel door for a pat on the head. Mitch had no idea what he was in for. I knew I had to act fast. I had Peanut, which meant I had leverage, but Sheriff Torres didn't know about Mitch yet. If I didn't move, I'd be the guy explaining to a SWAT team why my porch was ground zero for AK-9 heist. I met Sheriff Torres at a greasy diner that smelled like bacon and bad choices. She was all business, drumming her fingers on her coffee mug like she was counting down to a fight. I laid out everything: Mitch, the van, the net, the fake ID. She didn't buy it until Linda showed up with a USB drive labeled Operation K9 Takedown. That woman had footage of everything to my stamps, license plates, even a clip of Mitch tripping over my sprinkler. When Torres saw a still of him dragging a dog into his van behind the courthouse, her face went from skeptical to "I'm about to ruin someone's day." "So," she said, pointing at the photo, "this idiot tried to snatch your dog but got my K9 by mistake." I nodded. "And your dog's currently posing as a Ser VYC animal named Max." "Technically, yes," I said, wincing. She sighed. "All right, we lure Mitch out, get Titan back, and if I don't strangle him myself, we're golden. But if you lose that dog for 1 second, you're toast." The plan was simple. Use Peanut as bait to draw Mitch into a trap. I'd text him, pretending I was ready to hand over Peanut to avoid fines. Torres' team would tail us in unmarked cars, ready to pounce once Titan was safe. Mitch bit, texting from a burner phone with a Florida area code because of Corsan, told me to meet at an old petting zoo outside town. If someone wants to meet you where the air smells like moldy hay and sadness, they're not exactly a criminal mastermind. We prepped for hours. Torres' team wired a mic to my belt buckle. Linda, now calling herself Chief Surveillance Officer, insisted on joining with a GoPro helmet and a tranquilizer dart she swore was legal. Torres shut that down, but Linda still rode along, muttering about her field experience from binge-watching cop shows. Dusk fell over the petting zoo like a bad horror, MOVYE. The place looked like a farm where dreams went to die. I stepped out with Peanut, his fake Ser VYC vest glowing in the dim light. Mitch slunk out of the shadows, chewing sunflower seeds and grinning like he'd just pawned a stolen toaster. His van was parked behind him, same peeling letters. My heart was pounding, but I played it cool. "Didn't think you'd show," he said, spitting a shell. "Most folks don't care this much about their mutts." "He's family," I said, forcing a smile. "Can't let you take him." Mitch eyed Peanut. "He's calmer." "Meds. Squirrel therapy," I blurted. He nodded, clueless. Then he whistled, and out came Titan, leashed but furious, dragging a folding chair like a weapon. His eyes locked on Mitch with the rage of a soldier betrayed. "Easy boy," Mitch muttered. "Big mistake." Titan lunged, teeth snapping an inch from Mitch's leg. That was the signal. Torres' team exploded from the shadows like a SWAT team on energy drinks. Mitch dove for the van, but Linda, God bless her, fired that tranquilizer dart. It missed by a mile and hit a cardboard cow cutout. Chaos took over. Mitch peeled out, tires screaming. Peanut's leash slipped from my hand, and he tore after the van, barking like a furry avenger. I did the only logical thing. Stole a golf cart from the zoo's shed and floored it. The car topped out at 15 miles an hour, but I felt like I was in a car chase. Peanut leapt onto the van's bumper, clinging on like a stunt dog. Mitch slammed the brakes, and Titan, still inside, let out a bark that shook the earth. The van rocked like a washing machine. Then the side door burst open, and Titan leapt out, dragging Mitch by the pant leg. Torres cuffed him as he groaned in the dirt. Peanut trotted back to me, tail wagging like he hadn't just started a riot. "You good, buddy?" I asked. He sneezed in my face. Perfect. But it wasn't over. Mitch, it turned out, was just a pawn in a bigger Gamian illegal exotic animal ring, dealing in everything from stolen purebreds to smuggled lizards. Torres wanted the boss. Mitch, after Titan nearly chewed his shin off, spilled everything. Names, drop sites, the works. The plan was to stage a final handoff at the old high school gym, with me playing the scared dog owner ready to give up Peanut. Torres' team would monitor from across the lot, and Linda, now in the announcer booth with binoculars and an air horn she was not supposed to use, was ready to assist. Peanut, oblivious, sat in the back of an unmarked car, licking peanut butter off a spoon and growling at his own reflection. He was wired with a tracker, a mic, and a bow tie that made him look like he was Ser VYing steak at a dog prom. At 6:58 p.m., 2 minutes from the meet, the gym's lights flickered and died. Torres' voice crackled in my earpiece. "Stay calm. Power's out. Hold position." Peanut's ears shot up, his tail stiff. I knew that look. Something bad was coming. See, Peanut's fearless seat's trash, sleeps through storms, but there's one thing that terrifies him. Ferrets. Don't ask me why. Maybe a ferret robbed him as a pup. So when a van pulled up and a guy in a trench coat stepped out, holding a wriggling bundle of what looked like angry noodles, Peanut lost it. He dove through the car window, hit the ground barking, and charged the guy like a missile. I yelled his name, stumbling after him as Torres screamed, "Don't break cover!" Too late. Peanut launched himself at the ferret, sinking his teeth into it. The ferret screeched and passed out. The trench coat guy flailed, screaming like he was in a blender. Linda, from the rooftop, blasted that air horn, and the gym lit up with floodlights. Torres' team swarmed, tackling guys left and right. Titan, as always, was there, pinning the trench coat guy with a deputy's help. I found Peanut under a table, panting like he'd just won a war. "You okay?" I whispered. He burped. "Perfect." Later, in the parking lot, Torres gave a press conference, calling the sting smooth as silk despite the ferret fiasco. Reporters ate it up. Linda pitched her new YouTube series, Barking for Justice, to a news crew. Peanut licked Titan's ear, and the two dogs shared a look that said, "We're legends." Torres walked over, her uniform torn, her badge muddy. "Ever think about training dogs for a levying?" she asked, eyeing Peanut, who was stealing a deputy's sandwich. "Every day," I said, "until he eats a sock. Then I rethink my life." She laughed. "You helped us take down a ring bigger than we knew. That's something. Just glad Peanut's still mine," I said. She nodded and walked off, Titan at her side like a furry bodyguard. The next week, life settled down. Linda's footage went viral, mostly the part where I tripped into a trash can dodging the ferret. Torres got a commendation, Titan got a new chew toy, and I started a doggy daycare in my garage called Puppy Palace. No ferrets allowed. It's small 3 dogs, a kiddie pool, and a dream, but it's growing. Peanut sleeps like a king now, like he knows he's a hero. I lie awake sometimes, wondering if another Mitch is out there, but mostly I'm just grateful. Grateful for my dog, for justice, and for never hearing that air horn again. So what do you think? Was Peanut a hero or a reckless menace? Should I have let Linda fire that dart again? And what's the deal with ferrets cute or pure EVYL? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you laughed, and subscribe for more stories that'll make you question reality. Who's got a crazier pet story? Let's hear it.